Today we start our discussion on the abbreviated new drug applications. ANDA contains data for review and ultimate approval of a generic product. Once approved, an applicant may manufacture and market the generic drug product to provide a safe, effective, and cost-effective alternative to the innovator products. A generic product is that one that is comparable to an innovator drug product in dosage form, strength, route of administration, quality, performance characteristics, and intended use. The generic products are approved on the concept of therapeutic equivalence. Sorry. Therapeutic equivalence consists of two components, pharmaceutical equivalence and bioequivalence. And the drugs are considered to be therapeutic equivalents and thus suitable for substitution, or they are considered as generic equivalents if, among other factors, they are both pharmaceutical equivalents and bioequivalent. Now let us understand what we mean by pharmaceutical equivalence. US FDA considers drug products to be pharmaceutical equivalents if they meet these three criteria. They contain the same active ingredient, they are of same dosage form and route of administration, and they are identical in strength or concentration. However, pharmaceutically equivalent drug products may differ in characteristics such as shape, release mechanism, scoring, and excipients, including color, flavors, and preservatives. Scoring is the break line, which is sometimes given on the surface of the tablets to help it to break into smaller pieces. Bioequivalence means that the rate and extent of absorption of the test drug do not show a significant difference from the rate and extent of absorption of the reference drug when administered at the same molar dose of therapeutic ingredient under similar experimental conditions in either a single dose or multiple doses. Now we'll have a look at one of the important resources of US FDA, which is called as Orange Book. Orange Book is actually having the full publication title as Approved Drug Products with Therapeutic Equivalence Evaluations, but it is commonly known as the Orange Book. The reason why it is called as Orange Book is that previously it used to be published as a hard copy, and the cover page of the hard copy was orange in color. That is why the name came as Orange Book. This Orange Book is a very important publication by the FDA that serves as the gold standard reference for generic drug substitution and identifying therapeutically equivalent products in the market. Orange Book database also provides information related to patent and exclusivity. Now Orange Book has been made into a digital version, and this is the web link for the Orange Book on the US FDA's website. I encourage all the students to once go through this website and see the information that is captured in the Orange Book. There are two terms that are used while we talk about the abbreviated new drug applications. One is called as RLD and the other one is called as RS. RLD, or the reference listed drug, is a previously approved drug product for which an applicant seeks approval of a generic drug. And a reference standard is a previously approved drug product selected by FDA that an applicant must use in conducting any in vivo bioequivalence testing required to support approval of its ANDA and act as basis of submission for the ANDA. So if the generic company has to conduct a bioequivalence study of their generic product against the innovator product, we have to pick up the reference standard product. This reference standard should not be confused with the reference standard that we use in the case of analytical methods. Those reference standards are the high purity APIs that are used as standards for developing the analytical method. But this reference standard relates to our drug product and especially the innovator drug product that has been previously approved and selected by FDA, against which the in vivo bioequivalence testing needs to be carried out. I have here captured certain snapshots so that you get an idea on how to access patent and exclusivity information in the Orange Book database. So this is the front page of the Orange Book database. So this is the Orange Book, and the complete title of this book is Approved Drug Products with Therapeutic Equivalence Evaluations. It provides a search facility. You can put here either by the proprietary name of the product or the name of the active ingredient, or by putting the application number. You have to just enter at least 3 characters of either the proprietary name, active ingredient, or application number, and then press this tab for search. You will get the information of all the products which match those 3 characters. If you can put the entire name, then you will only get the information of the product that you have fed here. So there are options to search by applicant, search by dosage form, for example, tablet, and also search by route of administration, for example, oral route. Orange Book database can also be searched by listed or delisted patent number against a particular product. So here is the find patent information, search by patent number, or view newly added patents or delisted patents. So here is an example where we have carried out a search using the name of the active ingredient, abiraterone acetate. So we have put the name of the API here and then pressed the tab for search. And it then provides you the full information of the products related to abiraterone acetate. So you can see here that at some places they have written RLD RS, while at other places they have not written any RLD or RS. So these are the products that can be used for conducting the bioequivalence study by the generic companies. There are 2 products from the innovator, that is Janssen Biotech Incorporation, which have been identified as RLD and RS. The trade name of this is Zytiga. The other products that are coming as listed here, they are the generic products, and they are not given the status of RLD or RS. However, one of the generic product by Sun Pharma Global has also been given this status of RLD and RS. So these are the products against which the generic company will conduct their bioequivalence study. Now, how to look for product information related to a new drug application, that is N202379. So this is the number of the NDA which we are interested in, and you can click on this and you will get the information about this product. application number that begins with A denotes ANDA. So these products, this one, this one, this one, and this one, they are beginning with a A. So which means these are ANDA applications. While the one that starts with the N denotes the NDA application. So there are 3 NDA applications, while rest of them are ANDAs. So once you press on the relevant NDA number, you get the information on Zytiga, 250 milligrams. So marketing status is that it is a prescription drug. This is the strength. So there are 2 strengths, 250 and 500. The active ingredient is abiraterone acetate. The proprietary name is Zytiga. The dosage form or the route of administration is tablet or oral. Strength, reference listed drug, yes. Reference standard, yes, which means they can be used for conducting the bioequivalence study. The application number, product number, approval date, the applicant holder's full name, marketing status, and then in the last there is a tab for patent and exclusivity information. So you can click on this to get the patent and exclusivity information. So here we will get information both on the patent as well as the data exclusivity or the Hatch-Waxman exclusivity that we had studied in our last class. So once you click on that tab, you get the information on the patent number, patent expiration date, and here is the exclusivity data. So this is the exclusivity code, and this is the data exclusivity expiration. So you can see the date for patent expiration is in 2027, while the data exclusivity ends in 2021. So the innovator company will get the benefit of the longer patent life here, and the data exclusivity will run parallel to the patent exclusivity, and the later one, which expires later one, would be more useful for the innovator company to give them exclusivity in the market. The way they capture in US is first the month of expiration, followed by the date, followed by the year. So they do not follow date, month, and year. Rather, they follow month, date, and year format. So this is looking for product information related to ANDA number so and so. So you can get information by clicking on this number. And this is the information about the ANDA which you are interested in. And here also you can click on patent and exclusivity information. And you will see, since this is an ANDA product, you will not get any information about the patent and the exclusivity. So it says your search did not return any results. So there is no patent data for the ANDA, and there is no exclusivity data as well for the ANDA. As ANDA, drug products are generic version of the respective RLD product, that is copy of the innovator product. Hence, patent and exclusivity information does not exist for such products. However, list of drug products that are eligible for 180 days exclusivity, which is granted for substantially completed ANDA with para 4 certification, are separately published on FDA's website. We will be discussing about the paragraph 1, 2, 3, and 4 certifications in today's class. Now we look at the information that is submitted in a new drug application versus the abbreviated new drug application or the review process. So these are the requirements of the NDA, and these are the requirements of the ANDA. Up to point number 5, there is common information for NDA and ANDA, which means the CMC section. Labeling and testing related information is common up to the common between NDA and ANDAs. Animal studies are only submitted in the case of new drug applications. And similarly, clinical studies and bioavailability are part of only the new drug applications. Now, these three studies, that is the preclinical animal studies, clinical studies, and bioavailability studies, are replaced by the bioequivalence study in the ANDA. So ANDA does not require safety and effectiveness testing, and that is why it requires less time and expense for approval, and hence has a shorter regulatory review period. Generic drug product development timeline is 12 to 18 months, and the US FDA approval process takes around 18 to 30 months. So this is the time the company spends either in the lab or the pilot plant to develop the generic product, while this is the time period the US FDA takes for the approval of the ANDA, or the abbreviated new drug application. The total investment required for filing one ANDA is about $1 to 2 million, which is much less than the cost that is required for developing a new drug application, and which can run close to 500 to 700 million US dollars. So it is much less costly to develop a ANDA product. So these are the contents of the ANDA, and these includes information to show conditions of use prescribed in the labeling have previously been approved for a drug listed in the Orange Book. Active ingredient is same as the active listed in the active in the listed drug. The route of administration and strength of the drug are same as the listed drug. You have to show bioequivalence to the listed drug. The labeling has to be same as the listed drug. The complete list of components of the generic drug, statement of composition of the generic drug, description of methods, controls used in facilities for manufacturing, processing, and packaging. Then you have to submit the samples of the generic drug product, the specimen of the label, and a patent certification. So these are all the contents that go in the ANDA, which is submitted to the US FDA. The one important thing that comes out of this discussion is a patent certification. This we will be discussing in more detail. There are 4 types of patent certification that are possible, and the generic company has to give an appropriate certification for the patent. Continuing with the contents of the ANDA, in the chemistry section, you have to give the components and composition, manufacturing and controls, batch formulations and records, description of the facilities, specifications and tests, details of the packaging components, and stability studies data. The labeling has to be same as the brand name labeling. However, ANDA applicants can carve out certain indications from their labeling. This we had studied in our last class also. And this is also called as skinny labeling, which means some of the therapeutic indications which were part of the new drug application have been removed from the ANDA, and it may delete portions of labeling protected by patent or exclusivity. The generic product or the ANDA may differ in excipients and the way it is supplied, which means the type of packing or the number of tablets in a strip, that can differ from the new drug application. Additionally, we have to provide ANDA stability and batch requirements. 3 months of accelerated stability data must be submitted with the application, and available room temperature stability data should also be included. And an update on the subsequent room temperature data will be requested by the US FDA during the review process. One demonstration batch must be manufactured by the generic company. This demonstration batch is also called as the exhibit batch. Why we call it exhibit batch? Because this is the batch that is exhibited to the US FDA in terms of the manufacturing batch records and other details. This demonstration or the exhibit batch becomes the source of bioequivalence study product, because the bioequivalence study will be conducted on samples from this demonstration batch. This is also the source of the stability data, and it provides the complete batch record to be submitted to the US FDA. The bioequivalence study is conducted to prove the therapeutic equivalence. As we studied earlier, pharmaceutical equivalence and bioequivalence give us the therapeutic equivalence. And for the data generated in the bioequivalence study, statistical analysis, that is 2 one-sided tests, is carried out, and AUC and Cmax at 90% confidence intervals must fit between 80% to 125% of the label claim. Sorry, not the label claim, of the value of the RLD or the RS. This graph captures the ANDA review process. The applicant company will submit the ANDA, which will be then checked whether it is acceptable and complete. If it is not acceptable and complete, the US FDA will refuse to file it, and a letter will be issued to the applicant. If it is acceptable and complete, it will go to the Office of Generic Drugs, which is part of the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research, and it will be reviewed by different teams for bioequivalence review, chemistry and microbiology review, the review of the labeling, and a request for the plant inspection will be issued by the US FDA. If the bioequivalence review is acceptable, then it will go for the pre-approval inspection, that is the inspection of the plant. And if that is also acceptable, then the ANDA will be approved. However, if there is some deficiency in the bioequivalence data, the US FDA will issue a bioequivalence deficiency letter. Similarly, in the chemistry and microbiological review, if everything is fine, then we'll go ahead with the pre-approval inspection and approval of the ANDA. However, if there are some deficiency, then a not approval letter, which means the product has been refused approval, will be issued to the sponsorer. If there are certain issues in the inspection, then approval will be deferred pending satisfactory results to be submitted by the applicant company. So these are deficiency letters that are issued to the generic company, and after the plant inspection, these are issued on a particular form which is called as 483 form, 483. So these are also called as 483 deficiency letters, which contain the deficiencies that have been found during the inspection of the plant by the USFDA. Now we come to the ANDA patent certification options. This we have been referring to for quite long. There are 4 types of patent certifications which the ANDA applicant can submit, and these are called as paragraph 1, 2, 3, and 4. Paragraph 1 certification is given by the ANDA applicant if the patent information has not been filed by the innovator company. Paragraph 2 certification is given when the patent information was there, but the patent has already expired. So in these cases, FDA may approve the ANDA immediately, and one or more generic product may enter into the market. Paragraph 3 certification is given by the generic company if the patent has not expired but will expire on a particular date, which means subsequent to the approval, the patent will expire. In such cases, the FDA may approve ANDA, and on the date the patent expires, one or more generic company may enter into the market. The most important one is the paragraph 4 certification, where the generic companies goes to challenge the patent of the innovator company and says that patent is either invalid or non-infringed by the generic applicant. In such cases, generic applicant provides a notice to the patent holder and the NDA filer, and entry of the first filer may or may not occur, because this will lead to court cases, and that will delay the entry of the generic product into the market. We'll now look at the paragraph 4 certification in more detail. So in the case of paragraph 4 certification, the innovator holds an active patent listed in the Orange Book. The generic company name claims either the patent is invalid or remains non-infringed by the application of the ANDA company. The first to file generic company is rewarded with a 6 months or 180 days market exclusivity for a successful ANDA approval, and this blocks the approval of subsequently filed para 4 certification ANDAs. This means that the first company who challenges the patent of the innovator company will be rewarded for challenging their patent by giving them an exclusivity of 180 days. And during this period, only 2 products will be there in the market. One would obviously be the innovator product, and the other one would be the generic product of this company. Other than that, there will not be any product in the market. ANDA filer certifying under para 4 certification must provide notice to patent owners and NDA holders. So they have to provide a notice to the NDA company or the innovator company. Now, once they give a notice to the innovator company has 45 days to initiate a patent suit or a patent case. If a patent infringement case is filed by the innovator company within 45 days, the FDA approval of the ANDA is automatically stayed until the earliest of the following: the date the patent expires, the date a final determination of non-infringement is entered in the patent infringement litigation, or the patent expiration of 30 months from the patentee's receipt of notice of the paragraph 4 certification. Patentee is the innovator company. So the product will be delayed or stayed till the earliest of either of these three conditions. So if the patent expires, obviously there will not be any use of the patent case now, and the generic company can come into the market. Similarly, the date a final determination of the non-infringement is declared by, or a judgment is passed by the court of law, or expiration of 30 months, which is 2.5 years from the patentee's receipt of the notice of the paragraph 4 certification. So the maximum delay that can happen is 30 months. And if within 30 months, the court does not give a decision on the infringement or non-infringement of the patent, the product will be allowed to come into the market. So we'll stop our discussion here, and the next class we will talk about the Medicare Modernization Act, which was an act introduced in 2003 by President George Bush, and relates to certain provisions of the act related to ANDA.